So the second video in our little three-part series for today is going to be about the distance formula. So distance formula is kind of another one of those important things that we use a lot in geometry. Distance formula is when we are finding the length between 2 points. So there's kind of two ways we can look at that. We can look at it graphically, like you see in problem 1 and 2, or we can look at it sort of numerically without the graph and just sort of here's 2 points. The distance formula itself sometimes helps students remember it if we refer to it as the SpongeBob formula. So it kind of looks like SpongeBob a little bit. And so it's going to be a big square root. And then we get SpongeBob's eyes here. And then we put little minus signs because he's falling asleep, a plus sign for a nose, little 2's like little Z's, he's dreaming about Krabby Patties. So that's kind of the format of the distance formula, and now we need to fill in sort of the math stuff. And so the math stuff here is x squared, or not x squared, excuse me, x sub 2 and x sub 1. I don't like the way that one looks. And then y sub 2 and y sub 1. So these just represents the coordinates of the points, and so this is the actual equation itself is the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. And it kind of looks like Pythagorean theorem. Like if we lump this together, this could be like a squared plus b squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump down here and just do number 3 with you guys and just kind of show you how do we substitute these numbers into that formula. So anytime I'm given a coordinate point, you need to remember that a coordinate point is given in the format x comma y. And so here when I have 2 coordinate points, that just means you need to identify one of them as the first point and one of them as the second point. So this would be, you know, x sub 1, y sub 1, and this would be x sub 2, y sub 2. And now it's just a matter of substituting it into the equation and then just simplifying and solving. So I'm again just going to do this problem with you guys. And so we substitute for this into my formula, parentheses, so negative 2 is what I'm calling x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus, and then y sub 2 is 3 minus y sub 1 is negative 1. So 3 minus negative 1 is really plus 1. So you just got to watch out for your negatives. That's where distance formula gets kind of messy. So here now we simplify. Negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3 squared plus, and then this becomes 4 squared. Remember, that's all in a big square root. Negative 3 squared, what you need to remember, you have to be careful with your calculator. Anytime you square a negative number, negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. So anytime you square a negative, it's always going to be a positive number. And then 4 squared is 14. 9 plus 16 is 25, and the square root of 25 is 5. So that would be our distance. That's the distance between those 2 points. And that is how you use the distance formula.